Kameo, Elements of Power. A new take, a separate group for a whole different game that Rit took on in 2005 to create a new experience for their fanbase. It scored rather well among reviewers, getting about an 8 out of 10 score on average. But in my opinion, I feel as though it wasn't nearly talked about or even played by enough people to receive the justice it so well deserved. While I'm not here to create a review for the game, I am here to talk about what the story mainly revolves around, and that is the Elemental Warriors. Without them, Kameo wouldn't have even amounted to half of what it did, because they really give you a sense of awe and fantasy, giving them magical powers, creating the various strengths we need along the way. So without further ado, here it is. Starting from all 10, I will progress to my very top most favorite Elemental Warriors. Number 10. Flex. Flex ends up being at the very bottom of my list for these 3 main reasons. Number 1, his clunky movement. Because compared to the other 9 warriors, his is the least smooth with his hippity-hoppity so-called stride. The next one is for his undesirable battle attacks. Stretching and slapping his enemies to death may be cool and fun to some people, but to me it's just not my personal favorite. Now for the last reason, he's just plain ugly. Who's to think others don't think he's, well, cute? Oh, but look at the little baby Flex. Oh god, no. No, just not my taste. Number 9. Deep Blue. Okay, so Deep Blue I admit is pretty cool looking with the octopus legs, similar pudgy walrus body, blastoise-like cannons for arms, and a fish, merman kind of head theme going on. But he's pretty low on my list for a few reasons. First of all, while he has great underwater movement, which may take some people a little bit to get used to, walking on land, he definitely isn't the fastest, so my complaint for that is that it doesn't seem like there are enough underwater areas where there's really any use for him. Also, when it comes to attacks, while his jetstream arms may be useful, his attacks seem to be more effective when underwater than on dry land, even though they do come in handy for those little fire buggers. Number 8. Snare. Look. Just look at that beast of a plant? I'm sorry, but whenever I see him, all I can think of is this. While he is great looking, compared to others, he just doesn't really have any powers other than... yeah. But who wouldn't like just opening their mouths up to the width of a human and swallowing down their enemies like a godforsaken snake? Besides the point though, he is decent along with the ability to have an underground vine attack and being able to fling bug bombs at enemies. Number 7. Major Ruin. Aww, look at that fat little body, stubbly legs, and the snorkely snout, and even cuter as a baby. While he may seem adorable now, this little guy actually gains some pretty big body spikes that can pack some decent damage later on. So he's not all just for the I want to hug the crap out of you factor. His attacks may not be the best, but they aren't that bad. His main use is to get up higher to unreachable spots or just to travel faster by rolling. Number 6. Rubble. Just a measly pile of rocks, huh? I don't know about the... Holy crap! Just when you think a pile of rocks couldn't be cool at all, this makes you beg to differ. While his movement may tend to be fairly slow, this little guy, well, earth matter creature can definitely deal some pretty decent damage when it comes to fighting. Another cool ability scoring him higher in the list is helping you take aim with individual rocks that allow you to continue on. So why don't we hurry on and get to the top 5 favorite elemental warriors. Number 5. Pummelweed. So compared to Snare, I absolutely adore this one so much more. Sorry, Audrey. Pummelweed is the Rocky Balboa of plants, coming fully equipped with spiky boxing buds and shredder leaves that tear you up from underground. He had good moves with the fast and furious punching, along with his leaves just waiting to creep their way up to sneak attack anyone in his path. His movement is nothing to brag about, but tends to move a bit quicker when making his way underneath to dislocate his enemies to pieces with an uppercut. His design is also pretty sweet, so giving him that Venus flytrap look just made him all the more better to me. Number 4, 40 Below. Now, isn't it a bit coincidental that he ended up being number 4? This guy right here had some fantastic varied ranged attacks going on, such as the Ice Breath, Snowball Throw, and even the Deadly Whirl to clear his path. Thanks to that movement, to me it made the Snow Temple boss all the more fun. Unlike this boss battle. Ugh. Anyways, along with this smooth, quick movement, his surprisingly enjoyable attacks, and his mean, cool looking design, let's hear it for this old snowman getting him his spot at number 4. Number 3, Ash. Give me 1 second. Just look. Oh, the similarities. I think we know what probably inspired the design for this guy. Besides the point, it's a fucking dragon. Who wouldn't absolutely love just being able to go around destroying shit as a dragon? Honestly. I love the way he looks, and I especially love the colors for the second skin you can acquire for him. My very few complaints would be the fact that his wings are too small, keeping him from lifting off and just completely destroying everything in his path. Or even being able to move while attacking, but I guess that would make the game too easy then, huh? His movement may be slow, but he stomps around like a boss, breathing a fiery doom upon all of his enemies, creating death traps of fire tornadoes. Number 2, Chilla. Now, this was a very tough choice for me between making him number 1 or 2. His attacks are both close and far range, and all are pretty neat at that. He has spikes on his back to carry enemies to keep his backup weapons. He has ice spears that can be thrown to reach at great distances. And he also has a pretty awesome Ice Storm move that damages all that surrounds him. His movement is fair, considering he is what seems to be like a giant ape warrior. You can't really expect him to move at the speed of light, though his climbing skills are pretty impressive. Now when it comes to design, he's pretty badass in my opinion. He is a beast that no one would want to come across knowing that he could rip you apart within seconds. Granted, with what seems to be like his playful personality, he still isn't one to be messed with. Well, here it is everybody, the number 1 elemental warrior. Thermite. Yup, not sure if you agree with me on this or not, but this little guy right here made it all the way to the top of my list, and don't let his cute factor fool you. First of all, let's start with his attacks. While you may think they aren't the coolest or most jaw-dropping out of anyone on this list, to me they have varied ranges and deal quite a lot of damage, which matters most in my opinion. This poor little fella has to lug around a gigantic hot molten lava egg on his back wherever he goes, which makes it appear like he might just be the strongest out of all of them when comparing to how tiny he is. He is capable of shooting off molten lava bombs in numbers of 1 or 3, hitting a horde of enemies with a big punch, and even causing the lingering effect of catching them on fire. Another entertaining shot is shooting small exploding rocks of lava, which seem to cause a firecracker effect once attached to the target. If neither of those attacks seem to interest you, maybe vacuuming them up and sending them on their way into a wall or off a cliff would be more suiting. Thermite may come off as a small, turtle-like moving warrior, but let's just say he definitely knows how to become one with this weapon and take off in a hurry. He's one of the fastest moving out of the bunch and is one of the most enjoyable to control when doing so. Lastly, the design of him. Ironically enough, with my top 5 being mostly beastly looking warriors, the number 1 couldn't possibly get any cuter. With his red, orange, and yellow colors, tiny body, and big puppy dog eyes, he sure means business when it comes to carrying a miniature volcano on his back. So to break this down completely, everything that I've been basing my list off of, he's got down to a T with his attacks, movement, and even his design, which made him roll his way on up to being number 1 on my list. Okay, so I know all you may not agree with me on my choices for my top favorite, but you're obviously always entitled to your opinions. For all I know, you might not have even liked Kameo in general, but honestly, I felt like it was a bright and colorful, well put together game, literally giving you the opportunity to play with different elements. Now, if only they'd make a sequel. So, I hope you guys liked my list, and if you want more, be sure to like, favorite, and subscribe.